Warriors of Matrimony, written by Kenneth E. Fultz, Jr., narrated by Darilli. Chapter 4, Closer. A ding rang out of the sky, with the magical time clock disappearing. Annala charged forward. Wait! Annala stopped herself abruptly when she realized that Captain Xia and her daughter were gone. She turned around to look at Kalich. They're gone! Annala walked back toward the house, past Kalich. I'm going after them. Kalich reached back, grabbing Annala's arm. He turned himself and her around so they faced each other. Hold on. What did that man mean about your mission being slightly complex? Annala broke out of Kalich's grip, stepping back. That's none of your business. Why do they want you back in Saron? Kalich questioned. Why take Kalidora? My mission has nothing to do with you. Kalich placed his hands on her shoulders, getting her to pay attention to him. You and Kalidora are my family, so it's beside this mission. So it is. Besides, this mission involves me somehow. My mission was to learn and understand the powers you possess, and how they came to be, in case it became a threat to my nation, Annala said. But our nations are allies? Things can easily change. Our nations think in different ways. Kalich tightened his grip. So does that mean you're going back to report on me? I'll do whatever I have to save my daughter. Annala broke out of his grip and headed into the house. She entered the bathroom. Annala put her hand through the sleeve of her old army jacket. She tossed her hair back. She zipped up her battle boots. Annala stood up completely dressed as a Saronian soldier, with her hair over her shoulders and down her back. Annala stepped inside her bathroom. She saw Kalich fully dressed as a Camgonian soldier. He sat on the bed, strapping a dagger to his leg. Annala placed her hand on her hip. You're not coming with me. Your nation took my daughter. I'm taking her back. My daughter is where she belongs. Kalich looked at her sharply. Our daughter belongs here. Kalich focused back on getting ready by adjusting his pants leg. I promised I would always protect her, and I will. Will you give up the macho act? We both know you're better at giving up. Kalich stood up. Not when it comes to something I promised. That includes being there for you, Annala. Annala hunched her shoulders. I don't need your help. Regardless, I'm coming. Kalich walked out of the room. Annala watched him before she followed him out. You'll just get in my way. Later, at the Camgon military headquarters in the general's office, the Camgonian general stood up from his desk, slamming his hands on the table. What? What do you mean Kalich left base? Gal kneeled before the desk, with a sword attached to his side. Sir, reports show he's heading back through the valley hills on his way out of the base. What is he thinking? We need to do further research on his powers. The Camgonian general stuck his finger straight out. Send troops after him immediately. Bring him back here. He slammed his fist down on the desk. Now! Kalich and Annala slid down the small hill that led to the dirt road beside the forest. They start to walk down the path when... Stop right there, Kalich. Kalich and Annala looked back to see 8 Camgonian soldiers slide off the hill behind them with swords in their hands. You are to return to base. 5 more soldiers slid down in front of the couple. Annala sprinted forward. Lines curved and grew to form 2 spears in her hands. She flipped through the air over the men and spun as she descended, cutting the men down in such a swift motion that they barely survived. Annala continued forward. Kalich reached out when he saw her run off. Annala, hold on! Kalich! A Camgonian soldier shouted. Kalich focused his attention back on the men. I can't return to base. My daughter was kidnapped by Saronian soldiers. The Camgonian soldiers pointed their blades at him with deadly seriousness on their faces. You made that decision the moment you married a Saronian woman. Now return to base. Kalich's body became surrounded in a red glow, having his hair rise as his face became angry. I'm going after my daughter. 3 Camgonian soldiers charged at Kalich, with their swords in the air. They all let out battle cries. I don't have time for this. Kalich dropped his duffel bag to the ground. He balled up his fist, focusing his energy there, and slamming it to the ground in front of him. A huge explosion broke out of the ground, blasting the 3 Camgonian soldiers off in different directions. A black smoke blew back, forcing the other soldiers to cover their eyes from the blast. What's he doing? Kalich leapt through the smoke and decked the first guy he saw in the chest, blasting away his armor and sending him flying backward. He kicked the next one into the hillside, causing a dent in the rock. He reached up and grabbed two of the Camgonian soldiers' blades, which he melted in half with his fiery energy. The two soldiers stepped away in fear. The last soldier came in to swing down his sword. Kalich grabbed this man by the wrist and punched him in the face. The soldier flipped back several times into the dirt. The smoke from the earlier explosion cleared.
Sorry, but I don't have time for protocol.
Kalich turned around and headed down the dirt road. He grabbed his duffel bag along the way, going after his wife.
Annala, wait up!
The Camgonian soldiers were laid out across the ground. Tyson sat up on the edge of the stage with Calidora. He raised his hand up to chin level. Lines formed and created a golden coin that landed in his hand.
Here you go. It's a good luck charm.
Tyson handed the coin over to Calidora. Calidora took the coin in both hands. She kicked her feet back and forth as she admired the craftsmanship.
It's pretty.
Mason walked up to the other side of Calidora. He sat down beside her.
Tyson's the best designer in the Red Sharks.
Calidora looked over at Tyson.
Does that mean you make pretty dresses and shirts?
Not that kind of designer.
Tyson folded his arms across his chest, placed his foot on the stage and shut his eyes, calming himself down to focus. Calidora focused on the two boys as they talked back and forth.
Designers in this country can create and form anything they understand how to build, through thoughts,
Tyson said.
And Tyson's good enough to be a part of the Saron army if he wanted to be. What are you trying to do, get rid of me? No, of course not. You're our fearless leader.
Mason gave Tyson a light punch in the shoulder. Calidora looked up at the ceiling.
My mom can create pretty dresses out of thin air.
Mason and Tyson looked down at Calidora, confused.
Huh?
Both boys said. The front door blew up. Several Saronian soldiers stormed into the place. Captain Xia walked up to the front of his troops. The captain placed his hands behind his back.
Huh, so this is where you despicable Red Sharks hide.
Captain Xia stuck out his hand.
I'll be taking the Colonel's granddaughter back now.
Tyson leapt up to his feet. He created a smoke bomb in his hand. The other pirate boys leapt down by his side from the daises.
Like hell you are.
Tyson threw the smoke bomb down, covering the room in black fog.
Scatter! After them!
The captain shouted. Inside the smoke, Tyson picked up Calidora and ran toward the back of the stage as dozens of bodies scattered around the room. Calidora cried in Tyson's arm that he ignored. Tyson pushed open a loose plank, pulling himself and Calidora through it, leaving the lair.
Make sure you capture them all,
Captain Xia said. Tyson pulled himself and Calidora out of the plank he pushed open. He got back on his feet, turning to his left with the girl over his shoulder. He charged up the stone steps that went up to the well above the hideout. Two Saronian soldiers appeared at the top of the steps with spears.
Stop right there! Bring it on, she-devils!
Tyson began to form a pirate sword in his free right hand. A train went down a single strip of land between two lakes. Annala and Kalich sat across from each other. The other passengers sat quietly or were reading. Kalich stared at Annala for a while.
That wasn't right leaving me behind like that.
I told you I would handle it. Annala looked out the window, placing her elbow on the armrest and her hand under her chin.
By raising our daughter in Saron,
Kalich said. Annala placed her hand down on the armrest, looking over at Kalich.
That's where she belongs. Your country insists on women being weak and to serve men. And yours does the same with men.
Huh, men are the weaker sex. Have you forgotten what you were like when we first met?
Things change. Anyway, what was that thing that so-called captain used to get away?
Annala shut her eyes in a cold manner. It's known as the Seal of Time. Annala opened her eyes slightly, shifting them toward the lake outside. A designer technique that involves 20 or more that surround an area and can halt time there. Kalich placed his hands on his knees.
For how long?
Annala crossed her legs and focused her arms across her chest. Depends on the number involved and how long they want to maintain it. But I say 5 days. Xia wanted me to use all my time up there, so I would have to come back immediately. Kalich leaned back in his seat.
So do you have a plan? Besides you going home?
Kalich smiled kindly.
That's not happening.
The train went through the forest. Kalich and Annala stepped out of the Jordan train station. Kalich held his duffel bag over his shoulder. The streetlights were on as the sun began to set.
If we head to Mickey here in the morning, we should be able to get some horses,
Kalich said. Annala looked over at Kalich. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to keep going.
The gates to Jordan are always shut at night.
Kalich gazed over at Annala.
Besides, how are you going to travel properly if you're too sleepy to navigate?
Kalich began to walk down the steps.
Come on, we'll find a hotel to stay at.
The lobby had a stone surface, with a hall on the back wall that led to the rooms, with trickling lights to illuminate the room. The manager handed over a pair of keys to Kalich over the counter.
Please enjoy your stay.
Annala took her key and headed down the hall. Kalich smiled nervously at the manager, and then chased after Annala.
Sorry about that.
Tyson and Calidora were inside an empty water tower structure. Tyson walked up with a towel to the wet-haired Calidora, who whimpered. Tyson kneeled down in front of her. He dried her hair off with the towel.
There, that should do it. All the blood's gone now.
Tyson removed the towel from the girl's head. Calidora still whimpered.
What is it?
He asked.
You hurt those ladies. They were crying.
Tyson patted her head, getting her attention.
It'll take more than what I did to keep those women down.
Tyson cupped her cheek. He focused his eyes on her.
Until you're reunited with your parents, I'll make sure you stay safe. In the meantime, we'll wait for the others to get here.
Tyson lowered his hand to her shoulder, giving it a squeeze of reassurance.
Okay,
Calidora said.
Good.
Tyson reached into his pocket to pull out an apple. He sat down in front of her.
While we're waiting, how about a sliced apple?
Tyson created a knife and began to peel the apple. Calidora smiled widely.
I love sliced apples.
Nice to know.
Tyson stuck out a plate with the sliced apple pieces to Calidora that she took. Calidora began to eat the slices, happier than she was before. Tyson took out a hot bean bun from his own pocket and took a bit out of it. Calidora looked up at Tyson in curiosity.
Mr. Tyson, why do you steal?
Survival. I don't have any family to take care of me since my parents died.
Tyson became quiet for a moment. He then placed his hand on top of Calidora's head and ruffled her hair.
Let's talk about this later, okay?
On the stone streets of Jordan, several army boots clomped across it. Inside their hotel room, Annala unbuttoned her jacket uniform next to the wall where Kalich unzipped his jacket as he stood beside her.
There's no need to be so hasty, Annala. You weren't back in Saron yet.
Annala looked back at him.
And I can't wait till I'm there.
Several Camgonian soldiers stood in the lobby of the hotel with swords in hand. The Camgonian general stepped into the room with his hands behind his back. He looked around the room.
He has to be here somewhere. Spread out and find him,
the Camgonian general ordered.
Yes, sir.
Kalich shut off the lights. He narrowed his eyes.
I guess a good night's sleep is going to have to wait.
Annala sat on the edge of the bed with her palm out. Lines curved in front of her to make a rope.
This is all your fault. Just go back.
Kalich turned around.
Can we talk about this later? They won't let you get away either.
Camgonian soldiers ran down the hall. Each of them broke open a door. Each room was shown to be empty.
Where are they?
The soldiers questioned. Kalich and Annala lay on top the hotel's roof.
Move out. Search every street and hotel in Jordan. I want him found. They really don't get what I'm trying to do here.
Kalich stood up. You should return home just like I need to, Annala said. A log was thrown into the campfire.
We should be at the border by noon tomorrow,
Kalich said. Kalich sat down against a log in the middle of the dense forest while Annala sat opposite of him.
I don't even know why you care. She's not a boy,
Annala said.
You think that matters to me?
It should. Kalich pushed himself off the ground.
I don't know how the men of your nation are.
Kalich stood up straight.
But if you took a good look at my nation, a real man protects his family. It doesn't matter who they are.
Annala looked at him, seeing the light of the fire glowing on Kalich, and the clear resolve in his eyes surprised her. Kalich, she said breathlessly. Annala turned her head away and shut her eyes in a cold manner. Just go to bed. We have a long way to go tomorrow. Kalich lowered his shoulders, with his resolve gone.
Right.